Good afternoon, everybody. This afternoon, we're going to take a look at some mixed references from Excel. You can use these for lots of different examples and homework and discussion questions and everything in Math 144. Okay, the first thing I want to do is take a look at the reference table that we're going to be using. It's right here on the right. You can see I have the reference, the type, and what is being locked. In our first example, we're going to do a currency conversion. This is something like what you will be doing in major assignment 1, all right? Or you have already done if you've already been through that. We are told into cell B7 right here highlighted in yellow. In B7, enter equals. Then I want $ A7. Just take your mouse for the moment and click on A7, and you can see that it automatically populates. At this point in time, I have what's called a relative reference. In other words, nothing is locked. If I want to lock it, I need to, first of all, start by looking at my example, and it says $A7. Okay, $A7. What's that going to do? It is going to lock the column. You can see right here in this third row, it's going to lock the column. Okay, very nice. Now let's go ahead and we're going to multiply. That's asterisk, and then click on cell B6. Here we are in cell B6, and we are going to put the $ between the B and the 6 so that what happens? What's that going to do for us? It is going to lock the row and the column will adjust. Okay, now hit enter. And I have just multiplied $12 times 0.92. Okay, that's what we've done. Now, if I go to the lower right-hand corner, watch when the mouse cursor changes. When it does, you can grab it and drag it down. Okay. Now, I want to fill in the rest of the table as well, and I want to make sure my values are correct. So before we leave this first column B, let's click on it and see. Look at my cells. I've multiplied A11, which is what I wanted. Notice it shifted down, right? Because why? Because we locked it in the column, but we didn't lock the row. So therefore, when I drug the formula down, it brought my cell references down as I went. At the same time, B6 is still B6, right? Why? Because I locked it to do what? $6. I locked the row, right? So I locked it into row 6, but I was able to drag it down the rest of the column. Okay, so everything is exactly as we need it. Now, at this point in time, everybody, we can go ahead and highlight this whole column, and we can just fill this in very nicely by dragging it as I did before, and my column is completely filled in. Once again, go ahead, check it out, click on the cell. I'm in cell F11. If I click on that, you can see that I've multiplied the uh, value in F6 times the last row A11. So everything is exactly where we want it to be. Okay, perfect. Good job. Thanks everybody for following along with me. Go ahead, hit enter, and we are done there. All right, next. This one says we want to compare relative versus mix. This says copy each across to column E, observe which values change. Okay, so first of all, it's relative. So if I go ahead and hit equals, just take my mouse and click on cell B15, hit enter. Okay, now again up here, it's relative, nothing is locked. What happens when I copy it across? It says copy across. What happens? Well, I drag it across to column E and notice what happens. Am I still in B15, B15, C15, D15? No, I went all the way across and nothing stayed where it was supposed to, right? Everything has been shifting across with me, across because I didn't lock the value, okay? I didn't lock the column. All right, the next one says enter equals B15, but this time I want to do the absolute. In other words, this will not move the column or the row. Okay, so hit enter. Now, if I drag it across, what happens? If I copy it across, right, it's 100. If I click on it, it says B15, B15 everywhere is B15, all three cell and values. Okay, next. I'm going to do a mixed value. This is the row lock. So again, I'm going to do equals. I'm going to click on B15 and I'm going to put the dollar sign between the B and the 15. Once again, that is a row lock. So if I copy across, is it going to be what I want? Let's see. Is it going to be what we got? Again, look, everybody, it's just like the relative because why? Because we locked it for the row, but not the column. So when we pulled it to the right, copied it to the right, again, it's D15, just like up here, D15. Okay, so those two rows act exactly the same way because of the reference that was used. Okay, the last one says, let's do a lock column. So again, equals B15, click on your function, and let's type the dollar sign in front of the B, right, between the equals and before the B, hit enter, and you can see all of these values in column C are the same, obviously, but when we go to copy them, things start to change. And this one is exactly the same. If I click on it, it's B15. All the three cells are B15. Why? Because we locked the column. Okay, so now, everybody, I want you to think about what we just did. In fact, I want you to go right back up here and I want you to click on cell B7. You say, why do you want us to do that? Because I want you to take a look at the way we locked the column and the row, and we're going to do it on the next tab, the multiplication table, and I want you to think about how you can do that for yourself. Okay, notice again, the column lock is when I put the dollar sign in front of the letter. The row lock is when I put the dollar sign between the letter and the number. Okay, let's go to the multiplication table now. Here we are. It says enter only a single formula in D5, that's the yellow cell, and then use autofill for the rest. Create a multiplication table. All right, everybody. If I want to multiply that top row all the way across, notice it's row 5. If I want to multiply row 5 all the way across, I want to multiply 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, right? But I don't want the 1 in row 5 to move. What would I do to lock it? If I want to lock the column, I'm going to do dollar sign, right, first. So dollar sign, and then I can click on the cell. Actually, backwards, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, let's go ahead and type it in the right way. Sorry about that backwards typing there. So equals C dollar sign, I'm sorry, dollar sign C5, hit enter, and it's 1. Okay, it's exactly what we expected. Now, let's drag it across. After we multiply, multiply times D4. Now, do I want the values to move from 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes, I do. All right, so hit enter. And notice, if I pull this across, it goes C5 times E4. They look great all the way across, right? C5 times I4, C5 times K4, everything looks great. But did I do enough to allow me to copy this down? Let's check it out and see. What if I move this formula down, copy it down? Is it going to be correct? Everybody help me out here. Help me. Does 2 times 1, remember this is a multiplication table, does 2 times 1 equals 2? Yes, it does. Does 3 times 1 equal 6? No, it doesn't. What's the problem? Look, the problem was we forgot to lock the row. Therefore, the functions were all being drugged down. It's no longer in the right place, okay? It's no longer the value 1 in that row 4, D4. It's moved it down, okay? So let's go back up here and try this again. I need to do another reference. Remember, like we did back in the previous table on the currency conversion, I need to also lock the row. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to hit enter. After I enter the dollar sign to lock D4. All right, now let's drag this down again and see if it's correct this time. All right, and it is. 8 times 1 is 8. Besides that, the cell reference is correct, right? Click on it. 8 times 1, that's the operation that we're doing. Is this one correct? Well, it looks correct, but it's not correct because I can't copy it down. So before we get ahead of ourselves, do not copy those cells down. Let's go back here. Let's make sure we copy this again. Because why? Because we want to be able to move without changing D4, right? Notice D4 all the way across. Okay? A column for a row 4, I'm sorry. Row 4 the same all the way across. Okay? Perfect. Now we can complete this all the way down. Just grab this whole thing at one time and we can fill this in the whole table. Okay? And we're done. And you can look at this and you can say, yes, 8 times 8. Just click on it, right? Click, check. 8 times 8 is 64. It is C, look in blue, C12, in red, K4. The row and the columns stayed where they were supposed to in the correct places, okay? Now, I want you to try one more thing here. This is just for fun. On this multiplication table, I want you to write a formula that would sum them up all the way across. Notice it says totals. What formula would I use to sum up this column D? I'll give you just a sec, and then I'll jump in, okay? Well, I got the hard part. I'm going to start with the equals, all right? I got the equals. Oh, look what it said. Look there, it wants to do it for me. I like that. I'll go for it, right? That's exactly what I want to do. Notice, click on the formula. What does it say? Sum D5 to D12. That looks fantastic. Now, could I copy that across? Everybody, what do you think? I didn't lock any cells. If I drag this across, will it work? All right, let's try it. Well, it would help if I actually grabbed the cell, wouldn't it? All right, there it goes. Let's click on it and see if we've done it correctly. Click on column K. All right, and it says I'm summing K5 to K12, which is exactly what I want to do. All right, I can also check the totals this way. I can equal sum this way. Notice it gives me the function option right here. Click on that. I can grab my mouse and show it what I want it to sum up right there. Close with parentheses and hit enter. All right, now when I drag this down, it will also help me complete this table. And you can see that both formulas are correct because they add up to be the same, both vertically and horizontally in this case. So we are good to go. All right. Enough fun with the multiplication table. Let's go next. Next thing I want to show you how to do is to create a linear equation table of values. And I want to use two different types of a reference. The first one here, I want to use Y values and I want to use a mixed reference. Okay, that's my first example. So what I want to do, this is a linear equation. You will have this in topic 1DQ2 and major assignment 1 and various homework questions throughout the semester, okay, throughout the class. I want to enter a formula so that I multiply the slope, which is right there in cell B18, and I want to multiply that by the X value, and then I want to add in the intercept, the Y-intercept. Okay, so we're going to add in the Y-intercept. And now I have this formula. But notice with me, everybody, I have not yet used any mixed references. Everything at this time is relative. What do I want to lock? What do I want to move? You think about it. Do I want the X values to move down? Yes, check. I'm good to go. That is C18. I want it to move down. C18, C19, C20, right? Do I want the slope and the intercept to move down? No, I don't. So what reference do I use to lock those in place? Do I want to lock the row or do I want to lock the column? You tell me where I don't want those to be shifted down, so I want them to be locked by row. All right, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to lock B19 by putting the dollar sign in between the B and the 19. I'm going to lock B18 by putting the dollar sign between the B and the 18, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay. Now at this point in time, everybody, I can go ahead and I can drag this down because I've locked everything in place and I now have my values completed for all the Y values, right? This is the linear equation y equals mx plus b. All right, now one more thing I can do. I want to show you this reference. It's really cool. You guys will like this and you can use it in many different situations. Okay, so this one is called, this reference is a range. That's the type of reference it is. It's going to multiply the entire range. Okay, that's what it's going to do. So let's go here. And what's my format? It is equals, and then I want to multiply again by the slope, just like I did before, times, according to my format, I'm going to multiply times, and then watch this, everybody. I want to highlight this entire column. Do you see that? It says D18, D25 there, right, everybody? Now I want to add to that the intercept. Now, what it's going to do, everybody, just to reiterate, it's going to multiply B18 times that entire column, all that column, right? And actually, I've highlighted the wrong column. I don't want to multiply it by the Y values. I want to multiply it times the X values. So watch what I can do here, everybody. I'm going to move this over and just shift this over because I made a mistake. It's going to work out for a nice lesson there. See how I just move that over, that range over. Now it's going to multiply the X values. And now I should expect those values to be exactly the same as they were in the previous column D. Now watch what happens, hit enter. And there it is. The whole table is filled in one fell swoop. I don't have to copy and paste. I don't have to drag down. I've multiplied and completed the whole column with one formula. That is pretty nifty. All right, guys, that is all the fun we can have for today. You take care, have fun. We'll see you guys another time.